Warning. The Mighty Philbert is a wicked, deplorable man who is a horrible influence on children and most household pets. He curses like a sailor, smokes like a chimney, and has impure thoughts about anime characters. If you choose to continue watching or listening to this program, just remember, I warned you.
Let's call it evil. Where does evil come from?
Religion.
Hello, fellow heathens. My name is Philbert. It's so good to see ya. What rhymes with Philbert? Gilbert, Dilbert, Ebert, Newbert. I can't think of anything. But let's get on with the show. And don't forget to like the stream. Welcome to the Mighty Philbert Show. We've got a lot to talk about. Come on, let's go. Counter apologetics, weird and fascinating things. Maybe even some Gen X trivia. You never know what each show brings. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Mighty Philbert Show. It's the Mighty Philbert Show.
Hey everybody, welcome Mighty Ones, and I am the Mighty Philbert, and on a hot summer night I would not offer my throat to the wolf with the red roses, but you'd be amazed at some of the shady shit I might do for a Klondike bar. Anyway, today we've got Captive Desk with us. That's right, he is actually here, and can't wait to talk to him. So let's go ahead and see if I can do this, see if this works. Dave, you there?
Here.
Hey,
I'm
I
here.
hear you. All right, so
You
you
hear
can
me?
hear me? Yeah, I can. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, well then we're good. I did
All right.
something right this time.
I'm
Awesome.
alive, everybody. I've got the scars to show it, but I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm 100% as it were, except for the back of my head.
Yeah, and you're not going to show us that, you said, right? So,
Now I'm not going to show you that. I haven't looked at it myself. I'm afraid to look at it.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I had to have surgery a while back on my ass, and I'm so glad I don't have to look at that. So,
This is just as bad.
right? Well, hey, I made something for you here. If I can figure out how to work all of this, just put together a little song just to welcome you back, and I want to play it for you, see what you think. All right. So.
Captive Desk is back, everybody! Rocking out with Bigfoot once again. You can't keep him down, everybody! They Reaper tried, but hey, fuck him! Fuck the Reaper! Fuck the Reaper! You blew your shot, and now you have to pay. Fuck the Reaper! Fuck the Reaper! You had your chance, but you couldn't take Dave!
Anyway, that was for you. I hope you liked it.
Love it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It means a lot to me, man. And thanks to everybody that's sent me the well wishes and the messages and the phone calls and the emails and everything else. It helped me get through a very tough time, and I love y'all.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Dave. I tell you, we were supposed to do this, I think last week, just before everything happened, and I was like, "Wow, that's crazy." But so you said you didn't actually fall off the roof or anything, right? You just
Nope.
So what happened? Do you know?
Well, basically, I had been putting off this project because of the weather we've had. Most of the world has been under a heat wave, And came end of the summer and the weather changed, and I said, well, good deal. So I went and I put in an order. I got a lot of lumber, ordered a new roof. Everything was delivered, ready to go. I got about half my project done, and I was just feeling weird. And told my wife, the best I could describe it is I wasn't myself. I was just feeling weird. And she said, well, you probably just overdid it. You know how it is. You were sitting around all summer in the air conditioning. And then I just overdid it because my neck was sore, and anybody that's had a stiff neck knows your neck is sore. Everything's off, you're just
Right.
weird. So
Yeah.
I just plunged through. I'm a guy, and I don't want to be a sexist piece of shit or nothing like that. And yes, I've been cussing. You don't like it? Too bad. I was near death. All right.
Hey, I put up a disclaimer for that, so we're good. We're covered.
Okay.
Here. Yeah.
And so then, it was, I was feeling weird. And then the other Thursday, Friday night, I went to the fridge to get myself a snack, and leaning forward into the fridge, I just went down on my knees. And, from the waist down, I just went to rubber, and I knew something was wrong. So first thing in the morning, I called the doc, and he said later in the afternoon, excuse me, I've got the hiccups. I'm taking a lot of meds, so excuse me. I said, no, I'm not going to wait. So I went to the emergency room. They said they were running everything. They couldn't find anything until they did the scans. And then they came in, sat down, took my hand, and they said, there's something on your brainstem. And we're sending you over to the other hospital because they didn't have neurology here at this one. They sent me over to the other one. And he looked me straight in the eye, and this is the head man. Seems to know what he's talking about. He's highly talked about. And he said, Dave, he looked me right in the eye, and he said, Dave, you can sign yourself out and you go home, but you probably ain't coming back. And that goes for you ain't coming back. And I said, no, doc, I think I'll have you cut my head open. So he cut my head open. There was a big mass on the base of my brain. It was pushing everything one way, and that's what made me go down on my knees and made everything go out. I haven't got the results back, but I am assuming the worst because it's never anything good, something like that happens. And I'm an old guy, so the Reaper caught up with me, and he didn't take me, but he was knocking on my door, and I got a loud wake up call, and they ended up, like I say, I'm not going to show the back of my head. You can't see the back of my head, but imagine the back of my head was open, skull and everything. They took a chunk out, and I had a big inflammation all over the place that was pushing on the brainstem that made me lose my legs. Now, right now, I feel like $1 million. I mean, the pressure's off. I've got crap in my system. It's not good. I'm not sugarcoating anything. I'm in bad shape. But of a worst situation that it could have possibly been, including I could have been driving or been on a ladder or any of that stuff when it hit me. I was in the kitchen with my hand on the door, sitting myself nicely down on my butt. And my wife kindly drove me to the hospital. And everybody, I want to say, for everybody at the hospital, this girl's name is Laura. She represents all the girls that work at the hospital, and the guys too, all the people, great people at the hospital that do a hard job, have to give people bad news, have to wipe our butts and our noses and all the things they do, and give your nurse some love. They deserve it. They're the greatest people on this earth. And not to discredit the doctors or anything, but the nurses are on the front lines, and you know, she was there the first day, and she said, "You're gonna walk out of here," and she was there the last day with that smug look, looking over the back of her shoulder. Said, "I told you you were walking out of here." So, much love to her and everybody else, and much love to everybody that's given me so much love. I can be a bit of a hardball, and I did appreciate all the love. It got me through a lot, and I'm appreciating every day I've got. So if it's one day, or if it's 100 days, or 1,000 days, whatever it may be, you're not guaranteed anything, you know. So
Right. Well, I watched your video you put out the other day, and it looks like you're making some major life changes. How's that going for you?
yeah, I called my dude, and I said, buy everything back from me. I'm clean. I'm sober. You know, I'm high as a kite on everything from the prescriptions, but I've taken over a good lifestyle. I'm drinking my water. My wife never thought she would saw me drink water, so I'm drinking water, taking my doctor's advice to the letter, and I'm hoping for the best. The only good thing I can tell everybody, for a bad situation, I've never had a health problem in my life. I've been a healthy dude my entire life. I did smoke, don't smoke. I did party, don't party. You know, all those things that you tell yourself not to do, don't do them. But I'm not a drinker. I'm not a I'm not a mess up. I'm just Joe average, you know, that does stupid shit, you know, and doesn't take care of themselves like they're supposed to. And it caught up with me. It did.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I'm a type 2 diabetic, and I gotta really watch things. And I tell you, the worst thing for me is sodas. You know,
Yeah.
sodas and caffeine. Period. You know.
7 Up. I need a sip, you know.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy.
yeah, I hear you. That's one of the things too, you know, that you're going down the list, and it's like, oh man, you know, taking away everything from me, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. And that's what I told my wife, because when I went in and talked to the nutritionist, she was like, okay, no pasta, no bread, no carbs, all this stuff, and I was like, that's all I eat. You know?
Yeah. No
That's it.
cheese.
Yeah, no cheese.
Yeah, all the things you love, you know.
Yeah, I was like, what's left for me? I'm like, you know, I have no real vices. You know, I'm a smoker, and then the caffeine. That's it. You know, I don't do anything else. You know, but I was never a big drinker. I did that for a little bit. You know, and you know, mainly when I was younger, and like maybe at New Year's I might have a couple of drinks. You know, something like that. You know, just with some friends or whatever. And that's about it. That's just, you know, was never my thing. So.
I had a half a glass of wine for I think it was my birthday stream or something, and that was the most alcohol I'd had all year. You know,
Yeah.
but I was a smoker. You know, not chronic. Not to make light of it or anything. I shouldn't have been doing it. But you know, I was never one where I had to smoke. You know, I could go all day at the in-laws' house and not smoke, you know, stuff like that. Never a fiend or, you know, anything like that. But it's still a bad habit, and it catches up with you sooner or later.
Yeah, it really does. And you know, I got to be careful, because you know, I drive for a living, and it's like, you know, if I get so bad where I get on insulin, I can lose my license, lose my livelihood.
Sure.
You know, and I guess that's one of the things that really scared me, was like you said, you know, you could have been driving, you could have been on a ladder or whatever, and that was the thing with me. I was like, well, what if I'm driving and have like a stroke, you know, or something like that because of this?
Basically, I had a stroke.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, I had a stroke. You know, I was just in a very good place when I had it, but I could have been in a very bad place when I had it. So you might as well say I had a stroke, but I was damn lucky.
Yeah, yeah, you really were, and just glad to see
That's all
you
you
back
say.
at it. Yeah, glad to see you back and doing videos again and making appearances like this,
And what
which
are you going to
isn't
do?
much.
Well, what are you going to do?
Right.
You look around and you think of all the friends that you lost in your teens and your 20s, and a friend of mine lost his son. He never grew gray hair. You know,
Wow.
you're not guaranteed anything. So you get done feeling sorry for yourself, and you're looking around the emergency room and you're seeing life flight come in with people that started their day that didn't have a care in the world, and now they're coming in on life flight. And you quickly you have that moment of, and then everybody tells you, it's okay to feel sorry for yourself, but then you have that wake up call where you're not guaranteed anything. You're not, and you appreciate every moment. You appreciate every sunrise, and every day that I wake up and I hear the birds chirping, it's a good day.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
That's it, and that's all. Nobody promises you anything. From look at all the ones that don't even make it out of the crib. So you can feel sorry for yourself, but then you look at the next person and you're like, dude, you shouldn't be saying anything. Here I am, like I said, and the best of a bad situation. I don't have a stroke face. I didn't lose memory. I know who I am. I know where I live. I can walk. I can talk. I went to my friend's wedding. 38 years later, my buddy today got married, and I got to see it. And I could have
Oh, cool.
I could have missed that, And I got to see it. I got to give him a hug. It's hard to feel sorry for yourself. I mean, when you're alone, and when the drugs get a little better of you,
Right.
you know how it is. The drugs will fuck you up. But otherwise, I tell myself, hey, I live to see my kids grow up. I've got good kids. I've got a good wife. I've got a good life. It, I should be grateful. I really should. I should be grateful and not bitter. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, I know Adrian posted on there just a minute ago that when she had her stroke, she got pissed. Was there any anger at first, before you kind of like, you just like, I got to deal with this,
Yeah, I went through it all. I why, well, it's the thing. I just had a delivery made. Literally, they delivered all the stuff in my yard. I got stuff to do, and this is, how dare you, tell me that I can't climb on my ladder and do my stuff. Yeah, and I'm one of them ones that if you've got the flu or whatever, you stay in bed for a couple of days and then you get back to it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I'm old school, and I don't want to be a sexist piece of garbage or anything, but I'm going to say these things. I still have that feeling where I want to just pull out the ladder and finish my project. And I have to hear my doctor in my head saying, "Don't you dare get on that ladder,"
Right.
Not until I tell you get on that ladder. Don't you get on that ladder,
Yeah.
So I have to punch up my phone and talk to my kid on the phone. And fortunately, we live in a day and age where you can do that. My kid has a question. He can say, "Should I do this?" I say, "What are you doing?" You go to YouTube, you go to this, you go to that, you take a picture of what you're doing, you go relay back and forth, and you do what you can. And hey, we got a roof going back on the house, and I've got half my skull ripped off. So, things could be so much worse, and I was prepared. I didn't tackle this project all at once. I went in with the tarpage and everything, doing a parcel at a time, and not trying to get in over our head or anything like that. My voice is a little rough because I had I was intubated and everything but before this, everybody that knows me, knows, I didn't have any problems with my voice. I didn't have any problems breathing. I didn't have any signs. They're going down the list of paperwork and everything, and I'm no.
Right.
It just hit me out of the blue. And like you said, me and you were talking about doing something, and I was talking to a couple other people about doing something, and I do my own show. I had plans to do this roof, and just shit, bam, put on hold, and now I'm in the doctor's care, and my wife's care, and I get, let me check, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Let me take another. Bless the wife. She puts my pills in a little cup and puts a little note in there and tells me, Dave, take your pills when you're supposed to. And I do, yes, ma'am.
I heard that, yeah.
So right now, I'm, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Tell me what to do. I'm living clean as possible, doing everything I can possibly do, following all the directions and doing everything the right way, and trying to be a good boy and live another day.
I heard you, man. That's good though. Let me look real quick. We got a few people in here. They've been commenting and stuff. I think you know everybody in here except maybe my wife, Adrian. But you got Fred Harvey
Adrian?
in here, and Pragmatic Crystal.
Pragmatic's a good friend of the channel.
Yeah.
Good friend of many channels.
Oh yeah. Bagwine Ruminations, and this one's new. Jail. I'm not sure how to say it. Jeil.
Jill. Yeah.
Jill. Okay.
Good person.
Okay. And
We don't always agree, but that's okay.
I think that's everybody so far. So, but yeah, it's like I said, most of the people from your channel they stop by here every once in a while. It's kind of a nice community we got going here. A lot of really good people and really supportive and things like that. And that's what I enjoy about it. But
Yeah. Again, thank you, everybody. Sending me love and stuff, and even my enemies sending me love. It really means a lot.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, I feel that way about my wife. Even my enemy. She says she loves me. No, I'm kidding.
Don't know why, but they do, don't they?
Yeah, she's
We don't
something
deserve
else.
them.
She's about 4'11" and redheaded, and I try to stay on her good side as much as possible.
There you go.
She comes at me like a chihuahua. But now you on your channel you do a lot of responding to videos and going through a lot of typical Christian, I guess YouTube Christian apologist claims and things. What made you decide to do that?
Well, I go back way back. Like I said, I'm an old guy. I go back to AOL chat rooms and Yahoo chat rooms and stuff before the days when they had moderators, when you had to have cojones of steel to even step in those rooms,
Right.
And I've always put myself out there, and in my youth, I will say I wasn't as kind as I am now. And as the years went by, though, I was exposed to people like the opposite ends of the spectrum. Paula Gia was a great influence on me, saying that, hey, you ought to take a breather and not cuss. And then you've got the R and Roz that said you don't need a breather and go ahead and cuss, right?
You're right.
And I had to weigh it out, and I had to say, you know what? For the best of all the worlds, I want to do what I have to say, but I want to say it in a way where people will maybe listen to me. So maybe watch the F-bombs, which you won't find on my channel. I try not to drive. Now recent bout, I did tell the Reaper middle finger. You know,
You're right.
for those that don't know, there is on my desk here. Where is it? I do have the Reaper there. He is on my desk, and there is a middle finger behind the Reaper. This is a message left over from I lost both my parents and my brother in a matter of a few years, and it was a tough time. F the Reaper, he took everybody away from me. I was my only sibling, my little brother. I lost everybody, so I did have the already had the FU to the Reaper on my computer, and for everybody that it also goes for everybody that like I said before, people that died in their youth. We've all lost friends in car accidents and lost parents, and yeah, people lose people. I mean, it's part of life, you know. And it's always been one of those things where I've tried to live for people that you know, didn't got the short end of the stick, basically. So when I started doing my videos, I took the same approach of, hey, maybe this person believed last year. You know, maybe they had a conversion. I've never been a believer, but I tried to put myself in other people's shoes, and that you know, they really believed in God, and maybe had some bad things happen to them through the church or through their personal life or something like that. And I tried to step into their shoes, you know, so to speak. Look at things from their side, that maybe they did have a good heart. They had things in the right place. They weren't an idiot, you know, like a lot of us like to make fun of, you know, and it is tongue in cheek, you know. I mean, we don't. I'm sure many people do not believe these people are really idiots. We know they have a belief or whatever in their hearts, you know, and they had to come to terms with things, and often it's very difficult. And we should try to be, you know, a sympathetic ear. So when I started my channel, I decided that I would give a person a chance to talk, even if I disagreed with them. Let them, you know, you can say you disagree with them, but they should have their chance to talk, you know.
Right.
And that's as fair as you can be, I think, to try and be to people. And so that's how I set out. And otherwise, I still debunk things. I still say I think it's baloney. I don't think it's true. I make funny videos about magic zoo boats, and you know, I make fun of people, but I don't make it personal, because I try to point out it's never personal, because so many of us know people like Paul and Gia that were devout believers. They really believed in YEC. They believed in God, whatever religion. I've talked to Muslims, different, you know, folks all across the spectrum, different sexes, everything, lifestyles, and you have to put yourself in the other person's shoe. And I think when you can really try to put yourself in the other shoe, it's the best arguments that you can make.
You're right. Yeah. And that's my background. You know, I was became a Christian when I was 14. Got into the ministry when I was 17, is when I was licensed. And I was in it until about 6 years ago, and it was a crazy, wild transition, you know. And
like I said, I've never been on that side, so it was always easy for me to say, "Oh, you're an idiot," you know, like, yeah, Mighty Philbert believes in God. What an idiot, you know. But without ever thinking that you grew up different than I did. You know, you had different experiences and different, all those things that make you is makes you you. Now with me, it wasn't like that. I grew up in a very so-called liberal lifestyle where I could do what I want. Not everybody had that. Not everybody had that upbringing. Not everybody had that parents. I had great parents who were always supportive of anything I did. Not everybody had that. You have like the apostate sisters that grew up very oppressed, situations and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, because they were part of that worldwide Church of God, and that's that place just whacked out. Crazy.
Sure, and
crazy
though then you have to understand the psyche on people's minds, and there's so many things that go into it. It's not just a belief. There are so many things that go into it, and the older you get, the more you can appreciate it if you take the time to listen. And I tried to take the time to listen, and even if I vehemently disagree with somebody, I will try to listen to them.
Yeah, and you do a Saturday show also called Saturday Night with the Atheists.
Saturday Night at the Atheists. It's a takeoff. It was done by I'm like the third or fourth generation. I'm very proud.
Oh wow!
People have been doing this. People I didn't even know have been doing this show for like generations, I guess you could say. And I took over the reins. Michael over at Answers in Atheism, that I hang out a lot with, was taking it over. And I said, why don't I do it for you? Because he didn't really have the time. And why don't I take it over? And I'll, you be my, co-host, so to speak, but I'll do most of the work, and took the pressure off of him. And so we have a good time where we get together, and it's again, we have a varied experience. We have people that were theists, people that weren't theists, people that have different ages, different backgrounds, and we come together. We have a few laughs. But we always very, very much try to tell people, you're welcome to come on and talk to us. We will give you airtime. We will be civil. If you can be civil, we will be civil. It's as much as you can ask anybody. And we would love to talk to you. And we've had some theists on, very civil discussions, and it's been wonderful. And, I often say, all wars are ended when people sit down at the table and talk.
Yeah.
And it would be nice if we could just avoid the war and just sit down at the table and talk, and get things hashed out, worked out, and especially with the horrid events that have been happening lately. I don't want to get into it. Everybody's been hashing it out.
Yeah.
But they are words, and are we really going to become a bunch of violent barbarians over words? It has to stop.
Exactly.
We have to work things out.
Yeah, exactly. And
love one another. It's so much.
Yeah.
It's so much nicer when everybody loves one another. When when my sworn enemies can say, "Hey, you're a stupid atheist, but I hope you get better."
Right.
It warms your heart. It really does.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. That's I'll tell you, it's just, I don't know, it's like you said, you're going to take, I understand the things that this guy said and everything, but you can't answer that with what happened there, with violence like that.
Well, sure. And we've gone through Howard Stern and Andrew Dice Clay and all the guys that have said some obnoxious things, but really, at the end of the day, they go home, they give their wife a kiss, they give their kids a kiss, they read them a story. Are they really the ogres that we perceive? Now, some people, maybe they are, but most people, honestly, it's a show. It is,
Right.
and you have to remember, even us on YouTube, we put on a show. Don't take everything to heart. Don't take everything personal. Try and take it as just a dictionary with without the emotions, without the all the ins and outs and everything, and that
Right.
try and dissect it.
And I saw a lot of people on YouTube who just it was like they were celebrating this, just rejoicing over it. It's like, how can you do that? Because there's people out there who hate what we say and think that the things we say are offensive and wrong. Do we not have the right to do that, to say what we need to say? What was the old expression? It's like I hate what you're saying, but I will defend your right to say it.
Sure.
Something like that. I can't remember it exactly. But,
Yeah, I don't want anybody telling me to shut up,
right.
and I shouldn't tell anybody else to shut up. So I should say, hey, you have yours. Like I say, I often invite people on, and I say, I'll give you a half hour, and you give me a half hour.
Right.
Right? You say whatever you want for a half hour, and then you listen to me for a half hour. I think that's what we all need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And you were talking a while ago about some of the evil things, that we heard growing up, and the different types of religion and religious beliefs, and we talked about the apostate sisters and the cult that they came out of. There's several others on YouTube I could think of. Apologia, he was a Mennonite, and they're like very fundamentalist. Now you well, what I'm trying to say is, we were talking about that, but I made a video this past week where I was saying it seems like the whole of Christianity is a cult. All the way back to the time of Jesus, the things he said that are recorded in the Bible, if the Bible's true, whatever, those things that he said and the things that he was doing, that was typical cult leader behavior, or at least that's how it seemed to me,
But he also said some wonderful things.
Yeah.
Even my son and I were talking about it. We were doing some dishes last night. Jesus said some wonderful things. I mean, give the man the shirt off your back and ask for nothing in return. I mean, what a wonderful thing to say, The dude needs a shirt. Take the shirt off your back and give him a shirt. I mean, what are you doing,
And he said not only give him your shirt, but give him your coat also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And ask for nothing. Not, you have to pray, or you have to give the church some in the collection plate, or ask for nothing in return. And
Right.
those are great words. And then you'll read something else that sounds totally awful, and you're like, then you really have to wonder, did the same person say these things? And if they did, were they in their right mind when they were saying these things?
And I think a lot of it's like what Bart Ehrman was saying, and I believe it was Jesus Interrupted. I believe it was that book. It was either that or Misquoting Jesus, but I'm pretty sure it was the second one, where he was talking about how a lot of the early people, the scribes who were copying this, they had, a religious agenda. They were trying to make it appear as though Jesus was saying things that defended their position over the things they believed.
Sure.
And that's where a lot of the verses about Jesus being divine came from, because it wasn't in any of the earlier Gospels, but all of a sudden that shows up in John. Things like that. And I think that's what he gets to. But why he sounds so different so much of the time is because this is this person, putting in their own idea here.
Yeah, I mean, there've always been good people. Most people are good people. I mean, if somebody's hungry, or like you said, somebody needs a shirt off your back or something, most people are willing to help people. Most people are good people, and I pointed out often, if most people weren't good people, we'd all be in jail.
Right.
But we're not. Most people are good people, and most people do want to help other people as much as they can. Now, you can't always, you're not always able to do it. I said, I'd love to hop on an airplane and feed all the starving children in some poor country. I can't do it. I don't have the means to do it. But, you have, it doesn't mean it doesn't pull at your heart. You want to do it. And someday, hopefully, we'll get to that point where we can, have the ability to help everybody. That would be the best possible world. We could help people that really need it.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you ever see? I'm sure you did, but did you ever see Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home?
Oh
You know,
yeah.
where they come back here, and or I think they went back to the 80s. Yeah, because that's when it came out. But you remember when they got there? Kirk was so confused because they were still using money, and he said, "Well, we moved past that a long time ago." He said, "Now people just help each other, and you know, we just because it's the common good. You know, you help one another, you contribute to society." You know, and I was thinking, wouldn't that be great if that was, what we had, where we could just, a guy with medical knowledge could just help people out of the goodness of his heart, Someone who knows how to build houses could build houses just to help people, not charge people to move in them or anything or live there. Utilities could just be
I'm a Star
contributed,
Trek guy.
groceries. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was thinking Gene Roddenberry's up to something here. This is good.
Oh,
good
visionary.
Plan,
Yeah.
Yeah. And but yeah, I think about that sometimes, and I'm like, well, I really wish that was what we could do. Get rid of all the greed and the money and everything that divides us into different classes, and just like you said, just love each other and be there for one another. I mean, that would just be awesome. But when I say this to other people, then I'm accused of being a pinko commie red, I think is what I was called one time. So,
Yeah. Tree hugger.
Yeah.
Whatever.
yeah.
Well,
You hate
it's
money.
yeah. And you can understand, the realities of it, and there's a lot of arguments, and sure, these things have to be hashed out, and there's, Rumi says, yesterday I was foolish, I thought I could change the world.
Mm-hmm.
Today I'm wise, and I'm foolish. I'm changing myself. You can't. You want to help everyone, but in reality, you can't. It's just a reality of you can't. Like I say, I see the late night television shows. I want to hop on an airplane and give that kid a sandwich.
Yeah.
But I can't do it. As much as I want to, that kid is going to go without a sandwich, and it breaks my heart. But you do hope that there's a day where the sandwich comes. So that's and like so many things, civil rights, women's rights, all down the rights list. Think of all the people that had to do without, so that they could come for people that have them now, and then even the ones that are still fighting for things, LGBTQ and everything else. You want these things, but in the reality, it's not going to happen overnight. It sucks. It sucks. It really does. Yeah. But like you said, someday, that's what gives you the hope, is that someday somebody is going to be able to pick up that phone and say, I need some help with my roof, and I won't have to have a loan. I won't have to have a friend. Somebody will just say, hey, I'll be right over, Dave. We'll take care of that roof for you, and
that'd be sweet.
That would be sweet, not, do you have insurance? Let me see your insurance card. Going into the hospital, first thing you want is your insurance card. They don't even want to talk to you unless you got an insurance card. It's like,
oh yeah,
what kind of doctor doesn't want to talk to you without an insurance card? It's just, it would be nice to, you're sick? Oh, well, right this way. Let's get you better. Forget the money, and then it's you don't have enough money. Well, looks like you're going to be sick, and those things are always hard to deal with. But I'm like you. It's a pessimistic world, but I'm an optimist that someday we will see the Star Trek world. Somebody's sick, and you'll just give them medicine or food or the shirt off your back.
Yeah, just contribute for the common good. That would be so sweet. Yeah. And I think, and you tell me what you think about this, but does it seem like so much of this divisiveness and splitting people into classes and things like that isn't just about money, but do you think religion also plays a part in this?
Oh, sure. It's a lot of things have left a bad taste in my mouth. It's not just religion. A lot of things divide us, and the humor that's going around, you know, it divides people, and you know, you can take such awful positions on a joke, you know, and the when you look at it, it's supposed to be a joke. It's supposed to be in good, clean fun, and when you can turn a joke into an oppression against somebody, you know, then you can turn anything.
Yeah.
You know, surely anything's possible at that point.
Yeah. But you also do another channel that my wife and I are extremely interested in, and we've become fans. Is oh man, the green help me,
Grassman.
Dave. The Grassman. Yeah. You do a lot about cryptids and things like that, and that's where a lot of your Bigfoot stuff comes from. And I just got to tell you, we really enjoy that. We do our own little channel together too, which we haven't done anything on it in a while, but it's called Carpe Noctem. We talk about a lot of the old myths and legends and curses, and we talked about, you know, some of the rock and
fun,
roll
isn't it?
curses. Yeah, it's so much fun.
Fun.
And we had a blast. But you mentioned one that was kind of new to me, probably because I'm not from the East Coast, but the Jersey Devil. You did like a video on that. And that was just the wildest thing I'd ever heard. You know, yeah.
And it had a lot of history in it. It had a lot of historical people in it. It's fascinating. You delve into the psyche of the mind and the people of the times, and the things people believe, and how far things can go just over a simple belief, and then being carried out into into life, into politics, into all the things that it can be carried out into. And it's fascinating. It really is. And it's exploring it and dissecting it and everything. You know, and people say, oh, you know, it's Bigfoot, ha ha ha, you know, Harry and the Hendersons, you know, or whatever. But you know, you have to understand that where these things come from, that people lived in real fear of creatures in the forest, and we forget, especially nowadays in a modern society, that it wasn't that long ago that every bump in the night was a lot more serious than it is now. You know?
Yeah.
You didn't have anybody to call. You didn't have the realization of what's going on. You didn't have security or police or anybody to bail you out. You were on your own. And you put yourself in these people's shoes, and you could see where and why they would believe in these things, and why they were so ingrained in deep in their cultures and societies and everything, and for good reason. And even though we might laugh at it now,
Right.
boogeymen and you know the likes, and I've made jokes. I do try to keep a lighthearted approach with things, but I also try to put out the facts and as well, you know, the other side, so to speak, so that people understand. Well, sure, we can laugh at it now, but 100 years ago, it meant a lot when you heard a bump in the night. I mean, that could be a bear trying to get in your house, and it was a serious issue, you know?
Right. I remember, did you ever read The Call of the Wild by Jack London?
Oh, I love
When you
that
were
book.
younger?
I have a copy of it.
Yeah, you remember that chapter where he's talking about the primitive man, and it's completely dark, and you know, he paints that picture of him just sitting there in the dark, huddled up by his campfire, just not even allowing himself to lay down. He's just squatting on the ground with his club because he never knows what could be coming out of the darkness to him. That's what that reminded me of when you were talking about that just a minute ago. You know, that whole scene, because London painted it so well, you know, and you could just picture this guy sitting there like that, just scared to death of the night.
It's so easy to put ourselves outside of these things, especially in the times we live in, where we're literally a generation away. I mean, one of the worst things I hear is the good old days. You know, I hate hearing the good old days. I was like, what are the good old days when women couldn't have a credit card? Do you know how long ago that was?
Yeah.
That was only decades ago.
Yeah. It wasn't long ago at all.
How about when you didn't have a refrigerator? That was only decades ago. When you didn't have a car, it was only decades ago. You know, all these things that we just, we hop in, we click on our cell phone, we click on our HVAC, we click on our car, automatic start, you know, timers, all these great things we have. But just a few years ago, we didn't have these things. And then, you know, going with the medical problems. I have a lot of teeth issues. Most of my teeth are crowns, right?
Yeah.
Imagine the pain and misery people went through just with a bad tooth. You know, we've all had a toothache. Can you imagine having chronic toothaches, you know, your whole life? It just had to be a horrible time to live through. And this was only a generation ago, or sometimes even less, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And I had read somewhere that a lot of, early people, that a lot of them died mainly due to dental problems. You know? Yeah.
Ramses,
Scary.
the great Ramses, the king, generations knew him as king. And they say he died of an abscess,
Yeah.
a bad tooth. I mean, he survived, you know, in a day where, you know, you had to survive, you know, appendicitis or whatever, these things that attack people. He made it through all those things, and he had to suffer and die because of a bad tooth, you know. And it really puts into perspective that little tiny, and like me, you know, again, I spent my whole life, I've had some near brushes, you know, I got hit when I was a kid. You know, it could have, one way, an inch or another way, I could have been in a bad way. You know, yeah. I got lucky when I got hit. Other friends have been hit. Other friends have been shot, and stabbed, and had diseases, and 1 inch one way or another way, and it could have changed your whole life. You know.
Oh yeah.
And it was, and for all those that had that other inch, you know, that, hey, I was okay, but this other kid, he's in a wheelchair for the rest of his life because he fell off his bike. You know, how many times did you fall off your bike? I fell off my bike more times than I can count, you know.
Yeah,
some
like
other kid. Yeah, there you go.
Like Christopher Reeve, you know, he fell off a horse and oh man, it just.
Yeah, and his life was over, you know. We were just talking about some of the late greats that, tall, dark, and handsome, you know, or the jocks, always took care of themselves. And, you know, we talk about smoking and drinking and not taking care of themselves. What about all the people that take care of themselves and they still get hit with something?
Yeah.
And it seems totally unfair. They go out, jog and work out and eat right, and they do what you think is the right thing to do, and they still end up having, you know, a massive heart attack or something. A friend of mine, when his father passed away, his mother was carrying him to bed.
Wow.
And he was the epitome of the big jock, you know, and he should have been carrying his mother to bed. You know what I mean? And it turned out the opposite, where she had to care for him and carry him off to bed. And it's just, that's like I said, there's no promises. You can feel sorry for yourself. And, you know, I felt sorry for myself recently, but then, you know, I'm laying in the hospital at night and I'm hearing people that are moaning and groaning, and this hurts them, and that hurts them, and they're buzzing the nurses all night long, and it's very humbling that should you be complaining at all, Dave? You know, just shut up. You know, it's hard. You know, my wife says it's okay. You know, you can feel bad for yourself, but you just want to tell yourself to shut up. You know, that somebody's got it way worse than you. And then here at the funeral, or the wedding today, there was a young man there that had the the curled up hands. He obviously has some debilitating thing, you know, that he's going to have to deal with his whole life, you know. And I've up till 60 years old. I'm on my roof. A couple months ago, I redid the brakes on my kid's car. These people can't do these things.
Right.
And you really, it puts things into perspective. It really does. How
really
frail
does.
we are, and how much you should appreciate every moment that you've been healthy when you couldn't have been.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something that I've said to people before. I think since I stopped believing, in heaven and hell and things like that, my life's just become that much more precious to me. Because, with my religion, my idea was I'm only passing through this place. This isn't home. This world's not my home. That world's my home. And, when I realized that this was it, a lot of people are like, well, why would you even go on if this is it? Why don't you just get rid of yourself and be done? No, because this is precious to me. If this is the only opportunity I get, then I want to do something good with my life, something that's going to affect somebody else and connect with other people. And I said, that's what it is. It's like we're all building this big tapestry together, and everybody gets to contribute a part. And then the next people come along after us, and they get to take the things we started and contribute to that and add to that, or make some corrections, change some things to make it look nicer. And the generation after them gets to do the same thing, and we're all just working together on this same thing. And I just think that's beautiful to think of it that way, that's how we live on, is through what we're creating together.
Crushed my heart watching the Disney cruises where they do for the sick children.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They put them in the Disney princess outfits and all that stuff, and
Oh,
these kids have horrible lifestyles, horrible diseases that they have to deal with every day. And for one day, they get to smile,
right.
and they get to be a Disney princess, and it warms your heart, and at the same time, it rips your heart apart, thinking, gee, tomorrow they're gonna have to go back to the hospital.
Yeah.
It's really tough. Life sucks.
Yeah.
It does. It no matter how good your life is, you're not going to get out alive.
Yep.
Something is going to creep up on you when you least expect it, like it did to me, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you have to be able to tell yourself that's how life is. You're going to have the good days, you're going to have the bad days, and even folks like us that have had pretty much your good lives, you have the days where you've had the flu. You came that close to dropping over from various diseases and stuff, And like somebody just says, you have to enjoy the minutes you can smile, Adrian.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right. That's what makes it worth it. No matter how hard things are, you have to remember, you have a good life, you have a good wife, you have good kids. You might be sick, but Tuesday you weren't sick. Wednesday you weren't sick. Thursday the bills were paid. You take the little things and appreciate them for what they are. And as you said, I think that's what makes it. It makes it worth it when you can take those little things, add them up, and it does make it worth it. No matter I could just chuck everything into a handbasket and forget everything. But do you really want to do that? Do you really, not want to feed your dog? Or my cat's getting old, and it's frustrating. Certain days she doesn't want to eat, and you're like, you got to eat something, dear. It's just not good for you not to eat. I'm gonna have to take it to the vet, and you're realizing these things aren't good, and then she eats, and you feel so good just for that moment, even though it was a rough week, and it gets you through. And these are the things, and whether you attribute it to God or Jesus, and I can again, put yourself on the other foot. I can appreciate it. I can appreciate people that say, "Hey, I'm suffering, but God has a better plan for me," and all those kind of things. And that brings warmth to your heart or something. I don't want to take that away from anybody.
Right.
Now, I don't want somebody telling me about the magic zoo boat and how all the animals, went on a boat. I think it's ridiculous.
God,
But I
wish
can
you-
certainly understand somebody wanting an ultimate justice or, something like that. Sure. It's part of the human experience.
Yeah, I wish you could play your zoo boat song. That would, I get such a kick out of that every time you play it on your show. That one and the toast one, of course. But
So,
I was asking if anybody had any questions for you because it's getting to be about that time, and so any questions for Dave? And Adrian already posted one here. So she said, "Did you ever question your stance on God in the moment you heard what was going on with your health?"
sure.
Yeah.
I think everybody does. I think you'd be dishonest if you said otherwise. The questions raise up. Okay, God, what are you thinking? Is there really a reason behind this, or am I just looking for a reason because I'm having these problems? And then it goes back to you can genuinely put yourself into somebody else's footsteps. That why they think these things, why they believe these things, and especially people who have had like chronic diseases, like people that are in wheelchairs their whole lives, people that have had things since their youth that they've had to deal with their whole lives, and that maybe God is testing them or putting them through trials and things like that you hear about. And then you look at the other side and you can see that it doesn't make any sense. But do we really know? No, we don't. We there is a 100 absolute rule, right? Mm-hmm. That you cannot know 100%. You cannot know that there is no afterlife. You cannot know that there isn't a God. You cannot know that there isn't a devil. You can't know these things. You can be pretty sure. You can laugh at them. You can say they're ridiculous. People make up many stories to explain things and all that. But ultimately, you are dishonest if you don't question it.
Yeah. But at the same time, I just I think if there is any kind of higher power out there, I'm really starting to doubt whether or not they even give a fuck, about us or what's going on
Maybe
with
they
us
don't.
or anything. It's like
That's
you
the
said,
other possibility. Maybe they are indifferent. They just don't care, and that's a definite possibility. Maybe God is a jerk.
Yeah.
You
Or
know?
maybe we were set up like this just for us to be independent without any outside help.
Sure.
So you never know.
It's that 99% rule. You can't. Ultimately, you can't know. If I hadn't woke up from surgery, would I have woke up at the pearly gates? I can't know because I didn't. But maybe I would have woke up at the pearly gates and they said, Dave, see, it was about the pearly gates. You were supposed to know about the pearly gates, and I would have said, sorry, I didn't get the message, but definitely there's always room for doubt. If you don't leave a room for doubt, you aren't being honest. Now, as a lifelong atheist, I would say that there's no God. But can I say that there's no God? 100%? No, I can't. I can't say that God's not good. God's not a jerk. God doesn't have a bet going with Satan to, hey, let's see if we can give this person a horrible disease and see if they'll still go to church, and things like Job and stuff like that. Yeah.
like Job, have you considered my servant Dave? Fred had a comment for you, I think. Says, I cannot know there is no God, but I can know I have never been convinced that there is.
Sure.
So, okay.
And again, it's both sides of it. You know, you could see the good in the world and the bad in the world. And, you know, is there just good because there's bad because we want there to be good because there's bad? Or is there good to take credit for the bad? You know, you can't ultimately know. Using logic and what we know about the world, we can be pretty sure that it's a natural world. Things happen because of natural things, and that's why people get sick and, you know, everything else. But ultimately, maybe we're in some kind of a simulation, or somebody's writing it all out as a play or something like that, like a lot of the religions believe.
Right.
And you, the best you can hope for is try to have some good days. As somebody has said earlier, you laugh when you can, and because you know you're going to cry. So laugh today, cry tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. Well, Dave, I want to thank you for being on with us. I've really enjoyed talking to you, and just so glad that things are going better for you. And I hope it continues to go better, and you continue to get stronger and stronger. And within a year or so from now, you'll just be laughing about this. You remember that one time when they shaved my head and did all this stuff, you know?
Right. My hair actually grows back.
Right. That's my hope for you, Dave, because you just, from the interactions I've had with you and watching you on your show, you just seem like a really good person, and I'm glad to know you and to finally get the chance to talk to you and have this conversation with you.
I appreciate you talking to me, and I want to take the opportunity again to thank everybody for all the well wishes, and especially from the people that don't agree with me, that also wished me all the best wellness and speedy recovery and through the surgery and everything. And I have to say it honestly makes a difference. And if you really want to make a difference in somebody's life, reach out to them, send them a message, send them an email, tell them you're going to be all right. It makes all the difference in the world.
Right. All right. Well, I'm going to give you the last word here, so you can just send us out any way you normally would. So.
And all hail Bigfoot.
All hail Bigfoot. That's right. And
we love toast.
Yeah.
I have been having a lot of toast with the medications and everything. I've been trying to have my meals, and I wasn't always good about eating my meals and stuff. So I have been enjoying my toast in the mornings, and to treat myself. And with my friend's wedding today, we ordered pizza, and we gorged ourselves and had a nice night of pizza and enjoying the moment.
And having you on just made me think of something, and I just got to say it. I really, really miss those Bigfoot pizzas that Pizza Hut used to have. You remember those?
Yeah, I do.
They were just perfect for everything,
Yeah.
I always wanted to get one of the center slices. Those were the best. But yeah, Bigfoot pizza, and I could totally see you getting into that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, I want to say just stick around for a minute, and I'm going to close this out, and that way I can talk to you before we go. And everybody, just remember.
And anybody that wants to reach out to me, all hail Bigfoot. Easy to remember. Send me an email if you've got a story, if you've got a question, anything I've gone through, anything you've gone through, whatever. I'm happy to talk to anybody.
Yeah, and I'm going to put that and also a link to your channel right down in the description. Whenever we finish, I'll edit all that and put all that in there, and that way people can find you easier. But anyway, everybody, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Remember, you don't have to be religious to do the right thing. And we're going to get out of here and stay mighty, everybody. We'll talk to you later. See if I remember how to close it.
You just watched the Mighty Philbert Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share it now with someone that you know, and I'll be your friend for life. Bye, everybody, and stay mighty.
This is an Okie Doke production.